Hello, this video is an example to show you how to understand your music royalty statement that you received from the royalty statement team of the music embassies. Now, everything that's on this report has been ingested in by Excel files that we receive from all different places from around the world because there's lots of societies and agencies and stores and so forth that will submit the reports to the team, and they have to literally ingest them into the royalty system. We put your name of who it is that's a part of the copyright for the clients that we represent, and we put your share of how much you're supposed to get. So I'm going to show you some certain things. I'm going to show you an example report that I have in my name just to show you, how it all works. And then I'm going to show you some actual statements, but of course I will have to pause the recording at that time and change the viewing area, to keep some privacy levels for the statements that I'll be showing you. Okay, but it'll still be the same information. It's just I'm going to cover the person's name. Okay, they've already given me permission, so that's the most important thing. So basically, we're looking here at this example report. Now, if you look here, it's the royalty report. This is everything but not public performance. When we register your songs in all societies around the world, you will get a different report, an itemized report from them, from whatever society you're with, that'll itemize everything that we've registered. So anything for airplay that was played on TV, broadcast TV or radio, and some internet stations that are royalty paying, you will get from your society, not us, unless you are from another country, not the United States, and we're collecting your report and royalties, then you'll see that in your reports here. You won't have that itemized. It'll just say, for example, if you're in Jamaica and we're collecting your BMI, it'll see BMI royalties, and you'll see you're getting 100% of what came in of that. Okay, so basically what's here in this top corner, you're going to have when this was collected. So this is Q1, which is, everything's broken down into quarters. The reports are based on when we're issuing them to you, but please know that stores and societies and agencies report, they're all different. Some report from 2 years ago, and we're just getting it during this quarter. Some are a year and a half, some are a year, some are 9 months, some are 6 months. So it just depends. Not too many stores are reporting monthly. Not too many agencies are reporting monthly. And even if they did report monthly, it's from prior earnings. You have to give these people time to prepare the reports and go through everything and make sure there's no conflicts and so forth. So, and it also depends, when did you submit the song into your database? And even though you may have submitted it to us, we have to go through it. It has to go through a queue. It has to go through processing. We then have to submit it, and then we have to wait for the societies and agencies to accept it. And then sometimes we don't even know if there's rejections until months and months and months later. So if you're not seeing a song on your report that you feel that you should be earning, and it was earning in a specific country, let us know so we can go and check to see, were there any problems? Is there a dispute? Are there any rejections? You have to communicate that to us. We're not going to know. You know all of your songs and what are the most popular better than we do, especially if you have a lot of popular songs and you're not seeing, certain ones come in. So with that being said, it's very important that you understand that just because this may be first quarter, first quarter is January, February, March. Second quarter is April, May, June. Third quarter is July, August, September. Fourth quarter, October, November, December. That's for the entire world. Okay, that's how quarters work. Now, and the entire industry at that. Now, some things you need to understand is that publishers usually pay 2 times per year. And they have 45 to 60 days to present the reports to you of whatever they've collected in the prior period. So you have to give the publisher time to process things. A lot of you think that I do everything. I thank you for that. I feel that that's a great compliment, but I cannot do everything in this organization. There are teams from all around the world in all different offices that we have that are doing things from you. Our YouTube team is different from our copyright team, and our and the different teams that are registering for the US different from the ones in the different countries. And we have teams all over. We have a royalty software team, we have a royalty team, we have a copyright team, we have all these different teams. But because our music concierge team, which is myself and anybody who you may be speaking to on WhatsApp, I feel that some of you think that it's only us. No, it's not. So you need to understand, you need to tell us what your issues are, and then we have to then get it to the right team or the right agency to research, and these things take time. So going back to quarters, basically these are things or earnings that were collected during the year 2018, and they were collected, we received the reports and put the reports in the system between January, February, and March of this year. Now, these earnings are most likely from last year, okay? So we're just getting them, okay? Some could even be the year before, it just depends. So if you look at this particular song, this is from Apple, and it's clearly stating the source. Sometimes we don't have a source because it depends on what this is. So being that this particular one, if you see this and you see the source, this is most likely from your streaming royalties and from things that have been in the stores. So you'll see the source if it's from the stores. If it's not from the stores, like if you see 1581, 15381, or that's telling that us, okay, that's our YouTube code. So this is coming from the YouTube team. Okay, so, and then sometimes we don't get reported on where they're coming from, so we just get a report. So if you look here, you're going to see all the different titles. Okay, the YouTube team, they take things as you submit them and what it was, like how you submitted your file name. That's why it's very important that you're putting the title dash and the artist name, because if you look, for example, this particular song, we have about 10 songs named Break Free. Okay, so it's extremely important that it should say dash and what artist. Now I know what artist this is because I have to do with this copyright because I was one of the co-writers in the song. So that one I know. Same thing with Believe in a Jah and so forth. And then this one is telling me that this is from the stores, and this is telling me because of the number that this is YouTube earnings. Okay. We do have another itemized report that can tell you, if you do want it, you can request it. We do more of this cumulative report, but we do have one that can show you what ones are from YouTube, if you're not sure. But the number I'm explaining to you now is. Okay, so then these go down. Now look at this one. This one's we've collected from Apple, Google, Spotify, and they're telling us which exact ones they're coming from. Now global royalties, sometimes we get this one cumulative report from the team and saying during, like, in different parts of the other, outside of the US, we've collected this amount of royalties for multiple things, and then we just get a number. We're not necessarily getting even BMI. If you look on your BMI reports, sometimes they just tell you this is what we've collected from the other countries. So sometimes we don't get itemized statements from outside of the US. So here's Halfway, that's telling us it's from Apple. And so you can see all these different stores or the different places. Here's Rhapsody, here's Wimp Music, here's Spotify USA. So here's InGroove. So you can see, where all of these are coming from. Okay, for some of them. So then the source. And if you're not sure, just let us know and we can, educate you on that or do some research. Now, in this column where it says amount received 200%, this is showing you what we've received for the writer share, whether it's you alone, if you're the only writer that's an embassy client, or if your co-writers are also embassy clients, that entire share will be there, as well as whatever, like Apple and Spotify and Google, they have to pay the publisher share too. So when we're collecting the 200%, which are the writer's share and the publisher share, okay? Now this column here is your share. What are you receiving for it? This particular song is 100% with the embassies. So my share was only 20%, but then the other 80% is divided up among the other co-writers. They'll see what their share is. it has to equal 100%. But if you see in this particular one, my share was only 10% in this song. And this also is 100% embassy client song. Okay, so it tells you what the share is. Now this rate here tells you that the publisher's rate is 50%, which is half of this 200%. Okay, because we're getting, if you made $10, then you're getting $10. Like for example, you see this 10 cents? Okay, that's my particular share. That means the publishing team earned 10 cents from me too. Okay, and that's not paid by me. That's paid by the store. So I got 10 cents and they paid the publishing team 10 cents too. Now, some clients are really shocked when they see, look, this had, 7,512 views or plays or streams, and it only earned 10 cents. So a lot of times you guys think that it may be a lot of money, and it's not, because streams are micro pennies. Okay, so don't think that it's a whole lot. And then there's something else I want to show you here. The current units, this tells you how much in this quarter. So if you see here, all these that are 0, that means there was nothing earned for those songs in this quarter, which is 2018 first quarter. So only this 9 views for this particular song, 819 streams or views in this, and as you can see, it only made 7 cents, and there was 800. So it's not earning a whole lot. And there's all types of different calculations. Okay, so it just depends on how much was the advertising revenue, or how many streams, or how many views. There's lots of different things. See, I have 451 streams that happen on Apple Music, and in total I've had 6,513, and I only made 26 cents. If you look here, 451, because if you look here at these columns, this is your current units and your current earnings. So it's these two columns that are telling you what you earned during this quarter. These two columns are telling you what you earned ever, okay? Because you may be a client for a while. So let's just focus on these 2 quarters. We made nothing on this song, nothing on these songs. There were 9 views or 9 streams here on Apple Music, but it's micro penny. It didn't even reach a penny yet. So I have nothing. It says 0, but there's still some money left behind that will accumulate, but it's not even a penny yet. Here, there's nothing here. Now in this quarter, I earned 819. It's Apple Music, so it streams, and that earned me 7 cents this quarter. Okay, this only had 1. Oh, that's only because this is a global report. So there was only 1 global report that was issued, and I got $4.25 for that. But there's been 9 in total that I've gotten. Okay, and then come down here, 000. This one's 451 streams on Apple Music. There's on Spotify, I have 198 streams, and I didn't even make a penny. Okay, there were 6,770 streams total on Spotify for this song, and I only made 14 cents. On this one, 451 streams, I've only made 2 cents. But in total, I had 6,500, I've only made 26 cents. Okay, and as you can see, you see Apple, I've had 6,500 streams, I made 26 cents. This has more streams on Spotify, and I only made 14. Everything goes by the advertising revenue of that time that it streamed. Okay, and I'm glad I'm showing you guys this with my report, because that way you can't say, oh, well, it's different for other people. No, it's not. It's the same for everybody. Whatever's collected in that, it just depends how much your earnings are. Okay, so going back up here, so this is current. Now cumulative is ever. So I've had 20, this is Apple Music, so it's a stream. I've had 27 streams of this. I have 20% of the song. It's made a micro penny. It hasn't even made a penny yet. Okay, but it's there. There's activity, because I wouldn't have this here. It would just say 0. You see this one is 0 straight across, believe in a job. Okay, because it's so little of a micro penny, it can't even generate what my percent is, because it's too small. However, it wouldn't be on this report. Anything that's in this report is not what you have registered. It's what has had activity. It's what has earned something. Now, this is probably such a low micro penny, it didn't even reach a penny. So it's going to say 0 straight across. But look at Believe in a Jah on YouTube. It did make a penny because it's showing me my percentage, and it shows I've had 2 streams. Okay, and it's still nothing, but there's activity. So it's showing me it's starting to trickle in. Okay. Same thing with Break Free. I have 10% and there's 11 streams. I still have nothing. Now this one here, if you look here, I have 20% of Break Free. This is 0 cents earned this quarter. This is what I've earned. There's no streams this quarter, and it's 0. And then there's, in total, I've had 7,512 streams, and it's 10 cents is all I earned for that. Okay, and I have 20% of the song. Okay, now I'm going to, I think you pretty much have the gist. And if you come down to the bottom of your report, and you can see all these other songs here. If you come down to the bottom, you can see that for this quarter, I really don't have much. For this quarter, this is telling you this quarter, it's $4.35. You know, I'm not a songwriter like you guys are. I'm involved in certain songs. I help out. I do some songwriting and arranging, so that's why I have a little bit of activity. But these, I mostly work with up-and-coming artists. And even still, your activity is going to depend on how popular your music is. Just because you have us as your publishing entity does not mean you're earning. Are you building your fan base? If you're an artist, are you tapping into all of the connections that you have? Are you trying to get interviews? Are you trying to, you know, perform places and build your fan base? If you're the master rights owner and you're also a part of the publishing copyright, are you marketing your song? Are you trying to get it opportunities? Are you reporting everything to us? You know, are you including us in on licensing opportunities? Or if people want to use your song in commercials, that's for everybody. If people want to use your songs in TVs, commercials, those things, we have to be involved. Okay, some of you are not doing what you're supposed to be doing. Some of you don't even communicate with us. Some of you, you know, you're not marketing your songs. You think just because you put them up on iTunes that, you know, or the composer did, or the producer did, or the artist did, that they're supposed to be this magical money. No, there's not. You need to push it. You need to market it. You need to get, and the best ones to really push and market, the best one is YouTube, Apple Music, Spotify. Now, we've been very successful with getting things up on Pandora. There's no Pandora reports in this particular one. We're just now starting, we have some really good team members that are making a lot of headway to get our clients' music on iHeartRadio and Pandora, especially if you're using the distribution division. It's very hard to get that there, and that's another, you know, another opportunity for you, especially if you're using distribution. Maximize your social media. And if you want more ideas, ask me on WhatsApp, and we're going to be having more things. We're going to start having the Music Embassies conferences where you can come and you can learn certain things and you can start to maximize. But I can still give you brief recommendations when you're on WhatsApp. Just ask. But you need to make sure you're tapping into everything that you can. And if you're a part of the song and you have other people a part of the song, all of you need to be using all of your contacts. That's the author, the composer, and the producer and label. If you own the masters, it's your financial responsibility to pay for certain things for the advancement of the song. And artists, that means if they're paying for their things and they're paying for the advancement of the song, the money that comes from the distribution revenue is not yours. It is whoever is funding it. You are entitled to your artist royalties. Okay, but producers and record label owners or anybody who is in charge of the masters and you're allowed to put it up for distribution, you have to make sure that you are paying your point holders. You have to make sure that you are paying the artist royalties. And we need to see those reports if you're not distributing with the embassies, because some of your publishing money may be wrapped up in those record labels. For anybody that's released your music and they're not using embassy distribution, your publishing royalties may be with them, and your team with the embassies is losing, and so are you, because these producers are keeping, and record label owners, they think everything that comes from the stores and their distribution reports are for them, and they're not. You should be getting your royalties. If your artist royalties need to be discussed differently, and agreement in place separately than from your publishing money, and they should be providing reports so we can see if some of your publishing earnings are tied up in their reports, and they should be giving them to you and you should be forwarding them to us, or they should be professional enough to forward them to us. Now, if you're an embassy client and you're not doing distribution with the embassies, which is a completely different division than the publishing division, then you need to send your reports to us too, so we can look them over to see, is publishing money for these recording artists that are also the writers of the lyrics and or the composers of the beat, and make sure that see if publishing money is wrapped up in there, and then we would give you a total and tell you how much you need to pay. Okay, it's only for track downloads. We get everything for the streaming. It's the track downloads that may be trapped into these reports. Okay, so in closing, I'm just going to go back over all of this here up on top, show you the columns. So this column here is the song title. It shows where the source is, where did it come from. Here is the 200%, it's your share and it's the writer share, all of the writer share that are embassy clients, and the publisher share that are embassy clients. So this will be the 200%. If you're the only embassy client in the song, then you're going to see your share here will be 100%. If we collect your BMI royalties, you'll see here that it's 100%. Nobody else should get that, and you'll see that we're not taking, we're not taking anything. Okay, this may, yeah, you'll see we're not taking anything. Okay, let me look at something here. Okay, if you look here, here's Global Team royalties. You'll see that we're taking 0. There's nothing showing up here because we're not taking anything from this. This is your money, our money sent separately. So anytime it's just your money and it's not the 200%, you'll see under rate that this will be 0. Now there's nothing there because it hasn't reached enough of a micro penny for the system to calculate anything. Okay, but see the global royalties, there's nothing there because we're not taking any share of it. There's no publisher share in it. The publisher share was sent separately. Okay, so you need to make sure you understand the 200%, and then this share, this is your share, what you have the right to. Sometimes you may say, well, I have 50% of the song, but why do I have 100% here, or 75 or something else? That means that there are other embassy clients that, you have 100% if there's no other embassy clients, and the money that we collected is just for you because the other person's publisher collected for them. So whatever we received, you're getting 100% of that. Okay, and that's of your writer. You get 100% of the writer share. Remember, this is writer share. Okay, now right here, again, for recap, these are the current earnings. So what you earned this quarter, whatever this says, this is the current you've earned, and this is how much. And then this is cumulative. This is how much you've ever earned since we're doing your reports, and how much you've earned total ever. Then when you come down to the bottom, it's the same exact thing. This will tell you how many, streams or views. It'll tally them all up for everything. This is how much for this particular quarter. So this is this quarter. This is that. This is how much for this quarter. This is how many streams or views ever. And this is how much you've earned total ever. Now, I've never taken a payment yet. It's not enough to take a payment. Like I said, I'm not really a songwriter. I'm involved in some of these things. I'm not, I do some songwriting, but I'm not 50% on anything. Okay, I'm assisting. So, and then like I said, it's mostly new artists that I'm helping in the Embassy Unity Project division. So there's not that much, but there's something. And these are all new clients, new people, and there's something. So you can earn. Now, unfortunately, some of the songs for some of these people here, they don't market their songs. They're not trying to build their fan base. They're not, and we can't do everything for them. It's not always the label's responsibility. People want to hear you, the artist. So if you're the artist, You need to make those connections. Make the connections with the DJs that are going to play your music and make sure they mention your name so people will go look you up online and listen to your music. People aren't buying right now, they're streaming. Get your links out there. If you want your artist link, let us know and we will find it on iTunes. We will find your artist link on Spotify and we will give it to you. Okay, if you don't have your own YouTube page, let us know. There's a division that, can be set up and that way you can earn from your views. And, but you're going to earn from your publishing regardless, but you want to build your fan base. Okay, so if you have any questions about understanding how to read your reports, please feel free to contact us. And I'm going to pause this for 1 second. I want to show you on someone else's report, but I want to take their name off and, it's their personal business. And I'm just going to show you a piece of something so you'll kind of understand some other things. If the purpose of this is to see if when there's other embassy clients that are involved and how this percentage may be bigger than what you think you're supposed to get, and then I'll explain why. So give me 1 moment. Okay, and we're back. So I want to show you right here for this particular client. If you look here, the purpose of this is to go over shares, okay? So if you look here, this person's getting 50%. So that's telling me that there's another embassy client or clients that have 50%. Because if we're collecting for just that client alone because the other writer has a different publisher, then you're going to see here 100%. But if you see anything less than 100%, that means we are collecting. There are other embassy clients involved. Now in these particular songs, you see 100%, that means we're only collecting for our particular writer. Now if you look at this song, Be at Peace, this was one of the songs that was in my catalog because he was a part of this song as well. Now this song is definitely 100% embassy. So I had, I think 10% and now he has 15. So then the other, the others, it's an Embassy Unity project. So there's others and that totals the 100%. So that's telling me, okay, there are a lot of other clients that are a part of this. But see these hundreds? Okay, this hasn't earned enough to even show the results yet. Let's go down here. See here, here's 60%. So this is telling me there is another embassy client that's involved in this particular song, and he's getting 60%. Now this is telling me that this could be two beat makers, and that maybe they had 60-40, and then that would mean that he has 30 and the other person has 20. So when we put it in here, we have to calculate that and double it to 60-40 because this always has to equal 100. Same thing with this one. This one I'm positive of because I know who this is. This particular one was 60-40, or 80-20 rather. So so it has to, the other client has 20%. So that's why this is 80. Now, if there was, if the client just had, and this is the instrumental, as you see here. Now this is 25%, so this is showing me that somebody else has the other 75, so there is another embassy client earning. This one 50%, so the other half is an embassy client. Here's 40%. Oh, I know this one because it's one of my productions. It's an Embassy Unity project, so same thing. Now for this one, only 10%. So the other client, and I actually know who this is too, there's other people on that particular beat, and so that's why he's only gotten 10%. Okay, 40%, because everybody a part of this song, it's another Embassy Unity project, so it's definitely 100% because it's an Embassy Unity project. Okay, 35 on this one because there's somebody else that has the other share. Okay, so it may not be the exact amount that you see in your registration, but it has to be adjusted because if it's another, it'll be 100% if you're the only embassy client that we're collecting for. But if there's other embassy clients, and it has to be calculated to the point where this has to equal 100% among all embassy clients. And I'm going to pause it again, and I'm going to show you a song so you can kind of see how it has to be divided in the system for the writers. So give me 1 moment, just one more pause. This is a very important training. Okay, part 3 and the final part, and we're back. Now, this is inside what we have to do. A lot of times, a lot of clients were like, oh, you got the royalty reports the other day. Why don't we have them yet? I'm like, well, they have to be processed. And basically what happens is that when we may get this 20,000 entries on an Excel file and they have to be ingested in the system. So the song name will show up, and then basically what will happen is it'll be blank. We won't have any of the writers. So this is an Embassy Unity project that we're doing for the Songs of Hope program. So this is a production that I've personally done. So I'm trying to show you things that have to do with me. So that way you kind of understand, and using my example. This particular song has a lot of clients because it's the finale song for this program that we're going to be doing a tour with some of the clients that are in that program. So we have to list every single person that was a part of writing that song. They're all listed there. Their names are there. Okay, this is a standard royalty. And then we have to put what their percentage of the song is, and this has to equal 100%. Now this because it's an embassy song and it has to be 100% embassy clients. This is going to be calculated exactly like what you see in BMI and in your database. That's exactly what's going to be here because it is 100% embassy song. So we have to go and we have to look at the registration and put everybody's in there exactly like it is. Now, let's say, for example, that half this song was not an embassy client. Then you'll see that these numbers in your percentage would be double. So that would be 20% and 30% and 10%, 10%, 70%, 10, 30, 20. But of course, it still has to come to 100%. But it is just an example. Now, this master share is how much of the 200% that comes in is, how does the 200% get divided? It gets divided 50-50 because half is the writer share, and these are your percentage of your half, everything for your half of the 100, and then whatever is earned, the other half is the publisher share. Do you pay that? Does it come from your share? No. You get 100% of your writer's share. When they collect the 200%, you get 100% of the writer's share, and the other part goes to your team, because your publishing team only earns through royalties and licensing. Okay, so I am going to pause this one more time because I want to show you like if it's BMI that we're collecting for or something else. I want to show you what this master share will be so you'll see how much you're to be getting. Okay, give me one moment. Okay, now this screen is showing an example of BMI. If somebody is having us collect their BMI, they could be in a different country, they could be in the management assistance program, it could be a number of things. The organization will collect BMI on their behalf. Now this gentleman, he has 100% of the funds that come in because we're not taking, it's all for him, it's not for his co-writers, this is his money. And then it will show you here the master share is 100%, which means he gets 100% of everything that comes in because it's not the 200%, it's just his 100%. So that shows you there, and you'll see that also on the report. Okay, same thing that happens with the global team. Sometimes our global team, well, we're separating it now, but our global team before, we would just have them prepare the reports for everything else in the world, but now we're going to put it all together in one because we like the itemization. So basically that's it. So that way you have an understanding of kind of how things are behind the scenes. So you understand, you're understanding the master share. The master share will only be 50 if we're collecting the 200%. If we're collecting the 100%, then it's just your money. Then you'll see it's 100%. And that's what I showed you in the reports. Okay, now this definitely concludes our mini training. So if you have any questions, please let me know. Okay, thanks so much. And I hope you learned a lot today. And feel free to watch this as many times as you wish.